Hi, I chose to work on Norway and Denmark for my paper. My country was Norway, and I decided to make an emphasis on the sitcoms in Norway to see how they differed from those in Denmark. And I chose to do this because they are two Scandinavian countries and they are very, very close in location. And I knew some of the demographics were kind of the same, so I thought it would be a great option to explore how they differ through sitcoms and the guidelines that they follow in sitcoms and on TV and broadcasting. I chose to do the TV show Norsemen, which is also known as Viking Age, and it focuses on the time era of the Vikings and how they are portrayed through time, what they accomplished. And then for Denmark, I chose to focus on Beit Hotellet, and Beit Hotellet simply focuses on a drama comedy, and it's a little bit different, but it focuses on the history of Denmark and the history of the time era of the 1920s and how they might handle financial hardships and different types of hardships that we actually face today, which both of them do. Tragedies, financial hardships, love interests, so there's a lot of similarities to themes today. The theme I chose to study was the portrayal of history as told by stories. We're often familiar with items such as folklores being passed down, and stories are passed down from our ancestors. So I thought this theme would be great to study when we're looking at the past of Norway and the past of Denmark. So the three variables I chose to do my study on were heroes, tragedy, and mythologies. Heroes can be everyday people that we see or military, in this case Vikings. Tragedy is the loss of a brother or the financial downfall of your business. And when we look at mythologies, we can see that mythologies are the Norse gods and how people had different cultural beliefs in the 1920s. I do believe that the studies presented made me find that my individual study was different. My countries are extremely different from each other. They did have the similarity of freedom of speech, so most of their content isn't uncensored, and that makes for very interesting sitcom shows because you see a lot of sexual content and a lot of profanity, whereas in the States we wouldn't see that. I do think that my findings have shown me that through the audience and through the promotion of marketing materials or the media materials, that we're able to find that Norway is much more open and they are freedom of speech, freedom of the press. The press has free range, whereas in Denmark they do not, but they do not necessarily focus on the audience, whereas Norway does. Norway wants to have viewers engaged. They want to make their viewers laugh through these sitcoms, whereas Denmark, is playing a larger role. They're going on the drama end. They want to make you feel remorse, and they want you to learn about the guidelines that go into it and where their content's coming from. In Norway, you can find anything on the internet. So I do believe that through promotional materials and the audience's view, all of my findings in my paper are extremely relevant, and I definitely believe Norway is more open and has less guidelines.